I'm a 29-year-old guy who believed stability meant safety. I thought 4 years of love guaranteed a future. I thought silence was weakness until it became my power. And I didn't know the night I was humiliated would end up saving my life. 3 weeks ago, I still believed my life was settled. I had a steady job in logistics management, a comfortable apartment, and a girlfriend I'd been with for almost 4 years. Sarah and I met at a mutual friend's birthday party, one of those crowded nights where conversations overlap and drinks blur the edges of reality. We connected instantly, and 6 months later we were sharing rent, groceries, and quiet Sunday mornings. She worked as a paralegal at a mid-sized firm downtown, sharp and organized, the kind of woman who always seemed 2 steps ahead. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable, and comfort can be dangerously convincing. We talked about marriage openly, casually at first, and then seriously. Last Christmas, we even looked at rings together. She lingered over a sapphire ring at a mall jeweler, her eyes lighting up in a way I hadn't seen in a while. 2 days later, without telling her, I went back alone and asked about financing options, already planning a proposal in my head. The night everything collapsed was supposed to be happy. My cousin Marcus was throwing an engagement party at his place in the suburbs, a clean landscaped house filled with about 40 people, laughter echoing from the patio, music drifting through open doors. Sarah had been distant all week, snapping at small things, distracted, staying late at work more than usual. She said her boss was pushing deadlines and she was under pressure. I believed her. I even offered to bring her dinner one night, but she brushed it off, said she'd grab something downstairs. I didn't push. I trusted her. We arrived around 7, the party already buzzing. I was mid-conversation with Marcus near the kitchen island when Sarah walked up holding a drink. Her cheeks were flushed, and I could tell she'd already had more than one glass of wine. She looked at me and said, "Can we talk?" Loud enough that people nearby paused. I tried to keep it light, asked what was wrong, but she didn't lower her voice. She said we needed to talk about us. People started looking. I suggested we step outside, but she cut me off, her tone sharp, final. She said she was tired of pretending. Then, without hesitation, she said she didn't think this was going to work. My stomach dropped. I told her this wasn't the place. That's when she said it, clearly, cruelly, in front of everyone. "You could never be a good husband. I'm not going to marry you." The room went silent. 40 faces stared at me, waiting for a reaction. My hands clenched, my face burned, but I didn't give her what she wanted. I looked at her for a long moment, trying to recognize the woman I loved, but all I saw was someone daring me to break. I didn't say a word. I turned, grabbed my jacket, and walked out. Behind me, someone whispered, "What just happened?" and the party resumed in hushed confusion. I drove home in complete silence, hands shaking on the wheel. No music, no calls, just the hum of the engine and my own thoughts spiraling. I sat in the dark apartment for an hour, replaying every moment of the night, every missed sign. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Rachel, one of Sarah's closest friends. "Do you even know what happened after you left?" I stared at it before replying. She asked if she could call. Her voice was strained, shaky. She told me that after I left, Sarah broke down crying, saying she didn't mean it. Then Rachel hesitated and told me the truth. Sarah had been seeing Jake, Marcus's younger brother, for at least 2 months. The words didn't feel real. Rachel explained that Jake had comforted Sarah openly after I left, arm around her like it was normal. She overheard him say, "You said you were going to end it clean. This wasn't the plan." Rachel confronted Sarah in the bathroom, and Sarah admitted everything. It started at a work event in September. She said it just happened, like accidents last 2 months. When we hung up, something in me finally snapped into clarity. I logged into our shared bank account. Rent and utilities looked normal at first. Then I saw charges I didn't recognize. An upscale restaurant downtown. Another a few weeks later. A boutique hotel charge from a weekend. She said she was in Chicago for work. I took screenshots of everything. 11 transactions in total. I didn't sleep that night. Around 6 in the morning, Sarah came home quietly, still in her dress, makeup smeared, exhausted. I was sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop open. When I asked how long she'd been sleeping with Jake, her face went pale. I showed her the statements. She said she was confused, that things felt routine with us, that Jake made her feel excited again. I told her I'd been planning to propose while she was spending our money on hotel rooms. She cried, apologized, asked to work through it. I told her to move out by the end of the week. The lease was in my name. She slammed the bedroom door. I didn't feel bad. She moved out 4 days later. It was cold and transactional. She tried to take things I bought before we met, but receipts ended that argument. Her parents came with a U-Haul. Jake sent me a long apology text. I blocked him. Marcus called, listened to everything, and told me Sarah was uninvited from the wedding. Jake was cut from the reception. It didn't fix the betrayal, but it mattered. 2 weeks later, Sarah messaged me saying she'd made the biggest mistake of her life. I blocked her everywhere. Later, I found out the real reason she came back. Jake had another girlfriend the entire time. Sarah was just a fling. She lost her job the same week. No one would help her get me back. Now it's been 3 weeks. The apartment is quieter, but it's mine. I rearranged everything, started going to the gym, started living again. I'm not dating. I'm not bitter. I'm relieved. That public humiliation felt like the worst moment of my life, but it was a gift. I found out before marriage, before kids, before it destroyed me completely. I never bought the ring. I walked away with my dignity intact. If you were in my place, would you have spoken up? Or would you have walked away in silence like I did? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Share this story with someone who needs it, and tell me what you would have done if your future shattered in one sentence.